to try, look, even for me personally, my character, they would try to attack my character. They'll say he a rat or he just a snake.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is ask him who I told on.
Paperwork.
I ain't never told on no in my life.
Yeah.
In the Prem situation, look at this case. It'll tell you who told on.
Right.
My name ain't in that case.
Innocent or guilty, criminal or citizen, that could get them any time for any crime. Say, look, if it say, sir, did you see such and such and such, do such and such and such? Oh, wait a minute, only time, the only time.
Show me one place in the federal guidelines where you can have 10 machine and get 1 year of community service and 1 year incarceration.
If you know anything about 50 Cent, you know he's the last person you want to beef with. And T.I. learned that the hard way when 50 dragged him through the mud over those long-standing snitching rumors. That label has been hanging over T.I. for years, bringing nothing but disrespect from peers, from the streets, and even from fans who turned their backs. From the very start, 50 was one of the loudest voices, keeping the conversation alive. T.I. tried to play it cool and act like the shots didn't bother him, but the tension only escalated. Eventually, Tip started firing back. Instead of letting it die down, he went as far as challenging 50 to a 20-track versus battle on 50's own birthday just to turn up the heat. Naturally, 50 didn't take that lightly. He pulled out the infamous 2008 Crime Stoppers commercial where T.I. encouraged people to report crimes, and the internet instantly ran wild with it. The crazy part is, 50 and T.I. weren't always enemies. They used to be cool, making music together, showing each other love, and both thriving at the top of the rap game. But no matter how much success Tip achieves, those allegations keep following him like a shadow. And with 50 and others refusing to let it go, it seems like they'll never fully die down.
I said, how you feel when them New York like 50 and all them niggas be trying to do all that old?
I'ma tell you something. When you're fighting a man with no arms,
lately, rumors have been swirling that T.I. was supposed to snag the role of Davis McLean in Power, but got iced out because of his rocky history with 50 Cent. T.I. tried to put the chatter to rest, brushing it off as fake news and claiming that he and 50 actually share mutual respect. But here's the catch. 50 hasn't confirmed a single word of that, and that silence only fuels more speculation. So how exactly did T.I. get stuck with this snitch reputation that still follows him to this day, keeping 50 and others at arm's length? How did things between Tip and 50 spiral so far out of control? And what's the real state of their relationship today? Let's break it down. See, 50 and T.I. go way back, and their beef isn't something new. This tension has been simmering for years. Beyond 50 clowning Tip nonstop on social media, there are a few deeper reasons why 50 just won't let up. First, there's T.I.'s obsession with getting a versus showdown against 50. He pushed the idea hard, almost to the point of begging, and even went as far as challenging 50 on his birthday. That alone rubbed 50 the wrong way. But the bigger issue goes back to an image that T.I. just can't escape. That infamous Crime Stoppers ad. Back in 2007, T.I. found himself in serious legal trouble. He was facing heavy federal weapons charges and staring down the possibility of a 20-year prison sentence. The stakes couldn't have been higher, and then, out of nowhere, he appeared in a public service announcement urging citizens to do the right thing and help law enforcement stop crime. For T.I., it might have been an attempt to clean up his image while navigating the legal storm. But for many in the rap game, it was unforgivable. That PSA instantly branded him with the snitch label, and from that moment on, a dark cloud started hanging over his reputation. And of course, nobody capitalized on that more than 50 Cent. From the very beginning, he used that moment to question T.Y.'s credibility, clown him publicly, and keep those allegations alive. What could have been a temporary scandal turned into a permanent stain on Tip's legacy, thanks in large part to 50's relentless trolling.
I'm saying, but they talking about, they try to use that I need to order protection. But why it feels like I'm the here then? If I needed protection, you needed protection. And your protection gone.
50 Cent didn't just troll T.I. online. He even took direct shots at him on G-Unit's track You So Tough. In that verse, 50 rapped, "Get knocked with 10 machine guns, only get 12 months. Hey, don't talk to me, you talk to him, you talking to them. I got the best lawyers money can buy. They said they would have got me 10 or maybe 9. That line had the whole industry side-eyeing T.I., wondering how he managed to skate through charges that should have buried him. 50 doubled down, spitting, "How do you explain how homie breeze? They said keep your mouth shut or you eat the cheese." It was a direct shot at Tip's 2007 case, the same year he went ghost at the BET Hip Hop Awards. Just hours before he was supposed to hit the stage, federal agents swooped in and arrested him on serious weapons charges. The setup came from his own bodyguard, who turned out to be a government informant. That bodyguard delivered 3 machine guns and 2 silencers to T.I. after Tip allegedly dropped $12,000 in cash for the deal. Here's the kicker. T.I. was already a convicted felon at the time, which meant he legally couldn't even be near firearms, let alone purchasing them. Yet despite pleading guilty to the charges, the sentence he ended up with was shockingly light, and that's exactly why 50 and so many others have never stopped questioning him.
Hey, what's happening, y'all? Some people call me Tip, but this is about another kind of tip that can help our mothers, our sisters, our brothers, and our fathers help get the perpetrators who commit crimes against them off the streets. All you gotta do is call Crime Stoppers Atlanta. Tips can be anonymous, and there's even a reward. The number to Crime Stoppers Atlanta is 404-577-8477. That's 404-577-TIP. Channel 2, community coverage.
Instead of serving the kind of time everyone expected, T.I. walked away with just a year of house arrest, 1,500 hours of community service, and a short, barely there prison stint. Meanwhile, 50 kept hammering the point on You So Tough, saying that even with the best lawyers money could buy, those charges should have landed a man 9 to 10 solid years behind bars. Yet somehow, Tip slipped through with a slap on the wrist. That's why 50 started hinting there had to be more to the story. To him, the only way a sentence that light made sense was if T.I. gave something up in return. Maybe even did a little talking to secure that deal.
How are you dealing with when, like, the 50 cents are coming at you?
Well, I mean, honestly, man, like...
Not long after You So Tough dropped, 50 was pressed about the lyrics in an interview. He kept it slick, dodging direct shots by saying it was up to the public to decide who he was talking about. But let's be real, he didn't even need to say T.I.'s name. By then, the streets had already stamped Tip with that snitch label. When T.I. was asked about it around the time G-Unit released the track, he still tried to play it cool, and even gave 50 the benefit of the doubt. But the truth is, Tip couldn't fire back too hard anyway. The feds were still watching him closely, and the last thing he needed was more smoke. Still, beef like that never stays buried. And sure enough, by 2020, the drama came crawling back. That old Crime Stoppers video resurfaced online, right in the middle of the chaos surrounding Tekashi 6699's snitch scandal, throwing T.I. straight back into the fire.
To be perfectly honest with you, man, I gotta deal with each situation as how I hear it come out of the person's mouth. You can misinterpret songs, lyrics, you know what I'm saying? When you're being interviewed and someone asks you, how do you feel about this? I gotta take that. I gotta take your verbal rather than listen to your lyrics and jump to a conclusion. And when I heard him speaking on it, he said he wasn't talking about me, you know what I'm saying?
When Tekashi 6ix9ine was knee-deep in his racketeering case, testifying against members of the 9 Trey Bloods, the streets were already buzzing heavy about snitching, so the timing couldn't have been worse for T.I. That's when 50 Cent dug up Tip's old Crime Stoppers commercial and couldn't resist throwing shade. 50 hopped on Twitter, posting, "The first song I'm gonna play is You So Tough," while clowning T.I.'s Versus challenge. he didn't stop there. He reposted the infamous Crime Stoppers video side by side with an audio clip from the diss track, making sure everyone connected the dots. And of course, Tip took the bait. He stormed into the comments, clapping back at 50 with denial after denial. T.I. insisted he never snitched, never helped law enforcement, and never cooperated to put anybody behind bars. But he didn't leave it at that. He flipped the script, hinting that maybe 50 had his own skeletons in the closet, writing, "The video clip is cute. In poor taste, but cute. However, I prefer facts. I've never given any information to any form of law enforcement to get nobody no time for no crime, ever. 50 Cent, can you say the same?" Then, instead of backing down, T.I. doubled the pressure. He reposted 50's diss on his own Instagram and fired off a long, heated caption. Once again, he pressed for that Versus showdown, writing, "I'll take this as an acceptance of the catalog challenge. We got him. He bit the bait. Now set this up so I can finally shut this watermelon head, invisible neck ninja up once and for all." Even in the middle of the chaos, Tip never backed off his stance. He swore up and down that he had never snitched on anybody.
It wasn't never nothing negative. So, and like he said this in conversation. At the same time, he said, man, he's never had a problem with saying people's names when he's speaking on them. And like that's not like 50. If he going at somebody, he usually say their name and make it known. It's usually not ever whether or not. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that it's just unnecessary to jump to a conclusion and, you know.
T.I. kept firing back, writing, "As far as this clip goes, it's cute, old, outdated, and in poor taste. Much like your catalog, 50 Cent. However, I prefer facts, and the fact remains, I have never given any information to any form of law enforcement at any time in life to get anybody any time for any crime. Supreme told me to ask 50 Cent if he can say the same. But he wasn't finished. Tip doubled down, adding, "That's all I got to say about that. So let's set this date. Pick your songs off that one hot album you got, and let's lay your little overrated, outdated, steroid-inflated catalog to rest. R.I.P. to 50 Cent's catalog. I've seen you clowning and winning battles with ninjas for years, but not the king though. You picked the wrong one. Bring me." Clearly 50 had struck a nerve because Tip just couldn't let it slide. He went all out, doing everything possible to clear his name from those snitching rumors. And right after blasting 50 with that IG post, Tip wasn't done. He jumped on Instagram Live with comedian Kelly K. Dub Walker, ready to talk even more. Once again, the conversation circled back to those accusations of him being a snitch, but you already know, it didn't end there.
Life, you see a snitch, slap him when you see him, knock his nose off. So next time I'm out, instead of asking for a picture like a little hoe ass, come on, knock my nose out if you think I'm a snitch. Come on, quit smiling in my face trying to get in my section. Don't play with me. You think you're talking to? Play with your name. King never gave no information to get anybody in no. But now time with no police. If I am working with the police, it'll be to get him to.
Tip still wasn't finished addressing the situation. He brought up that infamous Crime Stoppers commercial once again, this time during an interview on the Big Facts podcast. When the hosts asked how he felt about people labeling him a rat because of that ad, Tip doubled down, standing firm on everything he'd already said before. And when they pressed him about New York rappers like 50 Cent constantly clowning him over the ad, Tip had a slick response ready. That's when things really started heating up. About a week later, 50 finally clapped back. He jumped on Instagram and, in a now deleted post, dragged Tip by reposting the interview clip with his own message. 50 wrote, "This was a week ago. This ninja was telling me about a comedy show he's working on backstage. I don't like all this kind of It wouldn't be a good idea to come around me again. Respectfully, stay away from me. The tension didn't stop there. Things got even messier after King Von's tragic death, when Tip made comments that instantly rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. And once again, 50 was one of the first to call him out.
You and 50 got a beef or something, man? Because I seen the post today where they were saying that you were supposed to be in, I guess one of the Power, what's the name? I guess two of the actors on the show said that you were actually supposed to be on the show, and then they replaced you with Method Man, and they weren't expecting it or something.
No, that's not true. 50 and I, we were executive producers on a different show outside of the Power universe. But nah, man, me and 50 cool. I'm the only one who's not offended by his brass approach, and he's not offended by mine. So, we play rough, but ain't no issue. It's a mutual respect.
Just days after King Von and two others were killed in Atlanta on November 6, 2020, T.I. decided to weigh in on the city's rising violence. He wrote, "Atlanta is a beautiful, progressive city filled with black excellence. We uplift each other and win together. Stop coming here to kill each other. That's just played out." In the caption, he doubled down. "Handle your beefs in your city. Thanks in advance, King." But that message didn't land the way he expected. A lot of people felt it was a shot at Von and his camp, and the backlash came fast. That's when 50 stepped in once again. He reshared an IG story from Von's sister, Kayla, who was furious. She wrote, "And these are facts, but the energy he always putting in people business needs to be the same energy he need to make it right with his daughter. No way is my brother. 50 Cent, get on his ass." And of course, 50 made sure the whole internet saw it. He amplified her post and added his own warning to Tip. "You gotta chill. You bugging for saying anything. They got casualties. This is real. I don't know what you was thinking, but rethink it. Now they hurting. They love that boy. He was way out. I bet you don't even realize they ready to come for you over what you just said. What hood you from again? Come on now. It's quiet time." That checked Tip hard, and for a moment it actually shut him down. But T.I., he couldn't stay quiet for long. Soon after, fresh rumors popped up that Tip was close to landing a role in 50's Power universe, but supposedly lost it because he couldn't stop throwing shots at 50. The whole thing blew up when Gianni Paulo, who plays Braden Weston on Power, told TMZ that T.I. was originally lined up to play Davis McLean, the slick attorney role that eventually went to Method Man. Michael Rainey Jr., who plays Tariq, even recalled how one day they just showed up on set and boom, Method Man was there. No warning, no heads up, nothing. Naturally, the whispers started that some behind-the-scenes beef between 50 and Tip might have cleared the lane for Meth to slide into that role. When Tip caught wind of the gossip, he jumped on Tony the Closer's podcast to shut it down. He swore there was no truth to the rumors about him being cast as Davis McLean and claimed that he and 50 actually had mutual respect for each other. But here's the thing, while Tip was out here praising 50, 50 stayed silent. No confirmation, no denial, nothing. And if you know 50, silence doesn't mean peace. He never forgets a beef. He just waits for the right time to reload. So don't be surprised if this tension between him and Tip explodes again. With 50, it's never if, it's always when. As for the fans, the debate is split. One fan wrote, "You can be a non-cooperating snitch where you direct police to a situation they can look at closer and still land a conviction without the original witness testimony. I've never in my life seen a 1-year sentence, a Crime Stoppers Tip commercial, community service, time served. No conviction for what was basically a small army's worth of guns. I like T.I., but damn, Let me get some of those politicians you got under your thumb. If not, then you a snitch. Ninjas get 10 years plus for just one gun, and Tip had 30 plus. But not everyone agreed. Another fan clapped back, saying 50 had no room to talk, dropping the classic line, "A mouse calling a rat a rodent." So now it's on you. What's your take on this war between 50 and Tip? Was 50 right for putting T.I. on blast? Or is this just the pot calling the kettle black? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget, hit that like button, smash subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next jaw-dropping story.